You're listening to a GWP weather update. It's Thursday, April 9th, 2026, and in today's weather update, we're going to be looking at some storm chances as we go into today as well as into tomorrow, and then we'll also look at some additional storm chances as we go into next week. So, of course, we do have a bit of an active pattern that is in store for us here in the month of April, so we're going to be timing all of that out. We'll start by looking at some of those current weather alerts that we have across the country. This is from the National Weather Service's weather alerts across the nation here. And so you'll notice that we do have some winter alerts out across California, but more notably here across the center of the country, here in the Central Plains, we are dealing with a severe thunderstorm watch across Kansas, Nebraska, and even parts of northwestern Missouri. And so this is from some of the severe weather that we're going to be dealing with later tonight. Some of these thunderstorms during the overnight hours will move into our region, and so that's what we're going to be timing out. Now, the good news is, at least for today across our region, the severe weather risk is very low and it doesn't include very much of us. Just the far northwestern counties of our viewing area is under that marginal risk for severe weather, with the rest of the area being under that risk for just regular old thunderstorms that are non-severe. So, of course, that is going to be good news. But again, as we talked about, a lot of this is going to be to our northwest here. This is from the weather story from the National Weather Service in Kansas City, Pleasant Hill, showing that storms are expected to weaken as they make their way towards Interstate 70. So again, the majority of the region should stay clear as far as severe weather, but thunderstorms are expected with, again, a very low risk as we go into tonight for some of those severe storms around the Kansas City metro area. We've got that marginal risk, and then that does extend down into our far northwestern counties. But again, the main threat with this is going to be some of that heavy rainfall that we're going to be dealing with later tonight. Now, some of the stronger storms that we're dealing with right now are across northeastern Kansas. We've got some storms producing some golf ball size hail just to the north of Interstate 70. So we've got that ongoing here across northeastern Kansas. But again, these storms will make it in here later tonight, but they're going to weaken substantially by the time they make it here. But again, some small hail and a few gusty winds with these thunderstorms late tonight cannot be ruled out here. Going over to tropical tidbits, we're going to show you that future radar here as we go over the next several hours. So again, those thunderstorms continuing to build across northeastern Kansas and into northwestern Missouri. And then again, the storms move into Kansas City around midnight. So after midnight, they will move into our northwestern counties, showers and thunderstorms. But again, after midnight, the majority of these storms will no longer be severe by the time they make it here. But again, a few rumbles of thunder could wake you up in the middle of the night as we go through this evening. So that's something you'll want to watch out for. But the main concern that I have with this is that we're still going to have rain and thunderstorms during the morning commute tomorrow. So this is not necessarily going to affect this evening. If you have any plans, if you're going outside, I know that there is a baseball game here at Mizzou. So again, lots of different outdoor sporting events. It's a really good evening to get outside and you'll be perfectly fine. But as we go into the overnight hours after midnight, some of those showers and thunderstorms will start to move in here, so that could get a little bit loud and disruptive. We're also looking at a very slight risk, or really a marginal risk is what it's called here, from the Weather Prediction Center. This is going into today, so that's something we're going to be dealing with. But again, this is just for our northwestern counties where we're going to be dealing with that marginal risk for flooding with some of those heavier thunderstorms that we are expecting as we go into the late night hours and early morning hours for us tomorrow. Then as we go into tomorrow, our severe weather threat is going to shift into our southwestern counties here across Joplin from Springfield. This will be around Stockton Lake and then points south of Stockton Lake. That's where we're going to have that marginal risk. But the rest of us here across Missouri could still be looking at some showers and thunderstorms, but that severe weather threat is going to be much lower for everyone else. We're going to be looking at maybe some large hail as well as a few gusty winds of 60 miles per hour and then some quarter size hail. So again, just right at that threshold for severe weather as we go into Friday. Again, most of that is going to be along Interstate 44. So the majority of the storms tonight are going to be around Interstate 70 and a little bit to the south of Interstate 70. But tomorrow afternoon storms are going to be around Interstate 44 around the Springfield area. So those are going to be the target areas over the next 2 days where we're going to be looking at that possibility of some severe weather. And you'll notice as we go into your day 2 flood outlook. So this is your Friday flood outlook. We do have a marginal risk for flooding, including Nevada going down to Springfield as well as into Joplin, Stockton Lake as well, and all areas in between under that marginal risk for flooding as we go into tomorrow. So that is something that we are going to be watching. So kind of picking up where we left off on the radar, of course, we showed you the overnight hours tonight, but now we're going to show you again as we go into the early morning hours tomorrow across western Missouri. Heavy showers and thunderstorms expected. Here's 9 o'clock. Then we go towards the early afternoon hour around 1, 2 o'clock. Thunderstorms begin to strengthen around 2 to 4 o'clock. That's when our storms are going to strengthen, and that's where we could be looking at some severe thunderstorms. So that potential is going to ramp up during the afternoon along Interstate 44. The good news is that by Friday evening, most of these storms will be out of here by about 7 o'clock. So that is the good news for us. But again, during the afternoon tomorrow, a few strong, possibly severe thunderstorms are going to be possible along Interstate 40 as we go into the 44, Interstate 44 as we go through the early afternoon hours for us tomorrow. Again, 2 to 7 o'clock. That's going to be our main window for severe thunderstorms along Interstate 44 tomorrow afternoon. So then we've even got severe weather chances beyond tomorrow. But of course, now we're talking several days out. So just something that we want to keep our eyes on as we go into the weekend. Our severe weather threat is going to be shifting towards the west. So we don't have a severe weather threat on Saturday, but some rain is going to be possible, especially during the morning hours. Some leftover showers are going to be possible. Severe weather is not expected in Missouri on Saturday. What about beyond that? Well, let's go ahead and show you your day 4 severe weather outlook. So now we're looking at your Sunday. We've got a severe weather threat pretty much in the same area. So Saturday and Sunday, same area where we've got that severe potential from Texas to Kansas. Again, there is no severe weather threat, at least at this time, going into this weekend. Saturday and Sunday should be fine. So we've got the thunderstorms and the overnight hours tonight, and then we've got tomorrow afternoon. But other than that, the rest of the weekend will be fine. But then as we go into next week, this is something that we need to watch very closely. There is a severe weather risk here across the state of Missouri for both Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday in our eastern counties. So again, potential for severe weather as we go Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Now, again, we're still looking several days out, so it is possible that we see a few changes to this forecast, but it is certainly something that we're going to be watching for very closely. And again, as far as rainfall amounts, we've already picked up around 8.5 inches of rainfall, but we are still a little bit below average when it comes to how much rainfall we've had so far this season. So any rainfall that we get over the next several days will certainly be welcome. All right, well, that is it for your GWP weather update for this evening. See you back here tomorrow for the weekly recap.